The beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't you wish you can go back to the early 2000s, Brant?
I do.
Dude, I want to go back. I want it so bad. I would give anything to go back to, like, either the mid to late 90s. It's not even funny.
Not have phones everywhere. Not be diabetic, and that's what I would hope for. Eat some candy. Eat some french fries.
Just fucking live.
Just drown your sorrows in surge and then urinate constantly.
Yep.
Yep. Not have phones everywhere. All right, I'm in there.
Yeah.
I didn't need that audio source the whole time.
Look at that.
Some candy. Eat some french fries.
We taught that audio source a lesson. The fuck with your shit.
I did.
Now you can pause it and talk shit about me. You're like that motherfucker here.
Alright, so now mute Skype and see if it comes
I'm
through.
gonna mute my microphone and see what it does. Mic test, mic test, mic test. Mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test.
Yep, we can't hear you. See if it comes through the stream.
Now you can pause it, talk shit about it.
Alright, so now mute Skype and see if it comes through.
I'm gonna mute my microphone and see what it does. Mic test, mic test, mic test.
All I can hear is the sweet, soothing sounds of Ratchet and Clank.
It still comes through. I don't know what it is. I even deleted,
still comes
the
through?
whole audio source. Oh, that's crazy. Where the fuck is it? That shit was gone.
That's weird.
That shit was gone. Mermy says the stream can hear me. Thank you, Mermy. Mermy. Mermo.
Fuck.
Manage input audio devices. Maybe it's the camera?
Yeah, there is a mic on the camera. It's a possibility.
Yeah. Enemies.
Don't know how.
Did they say where that image was at? Richard?
What is that? What are you checking on?
The scuffed image of Clive. Did you say it was only in the Japanese one?
No, it carried over to ours too.
So, did it say where it was? Because I looked in the characters, I didn't really see one.
It's an up close, like it's like chest up, and it's super pixelated.
Should have bought the Kindle version so that way they can update it digitally.
It's an abomination. But they said it's like one image in the entire art book, and the rest of the art book's beautiful.
So, yeah, I was going to say, most of the stuff I'm seeing is just...
Alright, I'm going to mute again. I'm going to talk. Make sure y'all can't hear me, okay?
Alright. Nope, can't hear you.
No, unless you're doing weird silence, I can't hear you.
Pixel art.
This thing goes to weirdos dipping their ship. It's got coordinates to a desert planet, too.
An infobot. Ratchet, we could use that.
I gotta buy the info bot. Get the fuck out of here.
That did it. It was the camera. It bugged out. I'm good. Holy
Yeah, you can talk shit about people.
If I talk shit about Cesar. Pause, talk shit about Cesar. It's on the stream.
fucking moron.
Cesar's like, how long has he been thinking he's been getting away with this?
I just been like, alright, whatever, get in line.
Brant, go back to pretending we can't hear him.
Yeah.
Did he blow his nose, or is there an elephant somewhere?
Still hearing Brant snowshoes.
Yeah, Brant, what is happening, man?
It's me flipping through this book. Oh.
It's horrible. Show me the image, I'll know what it is. Snowshoes, it's like compact snow.
It's like I didn't look close enough.
That's it, it's his head over there. It's the top part.
It's that first, I think it's this first image.
Yeah.
Yeah, this first image right here is pretty jagged.
Pixelated as fuck.
Everything else looks, yeah, clean. This really
it's a
jagged.
stock image, right?
It's a PS2 version of Clive.
No, it's just
No, it's
gosh.
a 16
It needs fucking scan lines.
It does need to
is what it needs.
It's
Dang.
it's what's his name from Final Fantasy 8. You're the best looking guy here. It's like, it needs those scan lines.
Yeah.
The damn Leon.
Leon, that's it. Squall.
Swall.
Oh my god, I
Yeah.
can't believe you figured that out. That's awesome. And now that thing isn't going crazy. It's still going crazy.
It always does.
It always does, but at least that other thing's out of here. All right, lads, you guys ready? Brant, did you change the news? Newsmaster Brant McKee?
I did not.
Newsmaster Brant McKee.
Pull up the things here.
Brant's our newsmaster. Brant, you do the news.
What is this? What is going on? You having a stroke? Broseph?
Broseph stroke.
Thought it was in a Bill and Ted movie.
Strokes of.
No, that's something different. It's something different.
It's kind of pornographic.
That was me last night on Helldivers.
Oh my god. Yeah. From the back, too. What was even happening?
Yep. Stroking him from the
Oh
back.
my god. I felt both embraced and violated. I feel like part of the team and a victim.
Helldivers HR. Yep. I'd like to file a complaint.
Brent was spreading democracy and other things.
Spreading democracy and trying to spread the cheeks.
And
Spread the
fingers in there.
Oh, the cheeks before democracy. This is the open path. All right.
Jesus Christ. What a hell of a pre-show.
Hey, join us if you're not here for the pre-show. You're missing out on all this hijinks and nonsense and tech troubleshooting. Can't believe I was using the fucking mic from the camera. I had to turn that off in Windows audio input devices for those interested.
And snowshoe ASMR
Yeah,
and
Brett, you might
Ratchet and Clank sound effects.
you might have a market. Yeah. Do you ever want to go to a ski lodge and play some Ratchet and Clank? We've got the show for you.
Brad, did you buy yourself a new MacBook when they were like $699?
No, I did not.
They're $649 at Costco. I'm looking at them.
Yeah.
The M1 just got out.
It might be time, Brent. The M1s are good.
It got outclassed
If
so
if
fast.
I'm gonna do it, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna jump on the newest.
So
Get that space gray or space black or whatever.
you get MagSafe
whatever it's
charging with the 2s and the 3s.
Yep.
And the jump from 1 to 2 was more significant than 2 to 3. And Apple has refurb M2s for $8.99, I think.
Oh, that's not
I was
bad.
looking at them. I was tempted because I got started looking at the freaking MacBooks. How about that Walmart deal? That's a hell of a
I saw that
hookup
one.
they have with them.
No, I got my iPad Pro. I'm good. I don't need that shit.
I mean, my iPad does everything I would do a MacBook with, probably. And my Chinese MacBook still does podcast editing.
Because when I go to work, they're like, here's a MacBook. I use a MacBook at work, so whatever.
Yeah. You guys ready? Let's get this thing going.
Yes, as soon as you hit record.
Yes,
Did hit
thank you.
record?
Oh my god. I'm doing it now. Hey, there it is. The button's lit up. Let everyone know
Is
they're
it?
being recorded or broadcast. That's what fucked me, because I saw it up there and I thought we were good.
All I see is Richard is using a device. There we go. There's the record
God,
thing.
that was not fun. If I had just sucked it up and done the re-recording to start with, it would have saved a lot of trouble, but we did try to download it the proper way and figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Restream, man. Restream used to be the shit, and now it's like gimped.
They want you to pay for their restream shit.
Not Restream. Yes, you're right about that, but VLC, like VLC player, doing that stream.
Oh.
The stream conversion is what I was hung up on Restream. We're good on
'cause
Restream
I'm
because
seeing a
we
lot
just do YouTube and Twitch until there's a third contender. I think we're fine with our 2 channels that we get for free.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming because a lot of people sat there and just recorded everything off of YouTube, and they probably made it a lot more difficult.
Or
now.
YouTube came after them, like, we're going to take down your open source VLC player if you can't have
Gosh.
anything nice. I did a download for HR, but that was a previous leader of human resources, so that's been several years. But man, anything they would send me, I downloaded an audio copy of it with VLC, and even the video copy, just pull down a video of it. I want to put this in a presentation, but it's not in the right format. And Handbrake, I wonder if Handbrake would have worked. I hadn't fucked with Handbrake in years.
No.
Used to do a lot of iPod video conversion stuff with Handbrake. That was a hell of a tool for a long time. I don't know if it's still even out there. Oh boy. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 297 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game and snowshoes ASMR podcast. Tonight, PS5 Pro specs leak. Interesting. Asper uses modder's work, question mark. We got to have one in there.
Aspire.
Asper? It's not Asper. Aspire? Are they aspiring to steal someone's code? Find out later. Why did I think that was Asper? Here we go. Here's your snowshoes. Oh, you just left the cabin? I'm out of the cabin. I've got my coat bundled up around my head. My shoes walk through the snow crisply. I'm making my way to the slopes. These are not skis. I'm in snowshoes. They look like tennis rackets, right?
Like tennis rackets stuck to my feet.
Tennis rackets. Sony pauses PlayStation VR 2 production. Does that mean hardware or software? Because I don't know that they ever started software production.
Mm-hmm.
And we have your March Game Pass games. I'm one of your hosts, and I'm not in the snow. My name is Richard Bergman. I'm joined tonight by Newsmaster and Snowwalker, Brent McKee.
Yes, I'm one of the other ones.
One of the other ones.
I'm here.
The third one of us is Cesar Concepcion II. Welcome, sir.
Whoa.
Are you in the snow?
No.
Do you have shoes on?
I have flip-flops on.
That counts.
He's knee deep in Ratchet and Clank.
Counts. Those are bleach shoes.
Nostalgia.
I wish I was knee-deep in Ratchet and Clank. I'm knee-deep in completing this survey here.
Oh.
A survey for the podcast?
Ooh,
You
survey.
sent out a podcast survey? What would you...
No, it's not a podcast survey. It's just work-based stuff.
What would you like to hear on a future NoFodcast?
What do they use? Survey Monkey or?
I think Survey Monkey is the one they use for said thing I'm doing.
And there's Microsoft surveys, too, that are built into...
Yep.
You don't have to do the outside external Survey Monkey stuff.
Look, man, I don't design the surveys. I just fill them out.
Hey, write into us at nofodcast@gmail.com. Let us know your favorite way to take a survey, your favorite rewards. We may arrange for a survey to come your way and a reward, pending completion of the survey.
At Russell at NoFodcast.
At Russell at NoFodcast. Attention, Russell.
Attention, Russell.
Oh man, Russell might be making his reappearance, right? In a couple episodes, we may be bringing back some founding members for 300. Yes, now that I figured out the audio source that's been plaguing the show for 3 years, I can totally fuck it up with some more people.
We can just Brady Bunch the call here.
We can. It's
Just have us
possible.
all.
5 of us. Yeah, we can make 5 work. 5 might actually look better. Would y'all be open to bringing back said individuals in the future if they have stuff to add?
Yeah, if they want to, yeah. That's
more the merrier.
Yeah, why not?
No one has. I don't know if anyone, either of them, listened to the show consistently, but nobody has broached the subject of coming back except for number 300.
I'm going to play Welcome Back Cotter when they do come back.
Are you going to sing it to them? Or I thought Brant was just going to kick them in a hole and yell, "This is 300," like the guy did in the movie.
He said this is Sparta, but yeah, that'll work.
That doesn't apply here. What sense would that make?
This is 300.
Brant, the audience would be confused. You have to yell, "This is 300."
I'm confused. You know, to make the audience confused.
I watched the movie. I read the
They're
graphic
already
novel.
confused.
We're, of course, talking about bringing back Michael McLeod and Russell Bergman, 2 friends of the show that I don't know if they still listen to the show. McLeod says he catches it every once in a while. Like, I think he listened to our Game of the Year one most frequently, but I'm not sure about friend of the show Russell and his continued interest in... What's that?
In his exploits where he could be listening to us on a bicycle, but he chooses not to.
He could be. We are good bicycling content, I would think. I would also think we're a decent unicycle podcast. I don't think it matters how many wheels you're on.
What about a tricycle?
Yes, it doesn't matter how many wheels you're on or how you're spinning them, but please listen to us. And tell your friends.
18-wheeler?
Yes,
Then you,
that may
then
be
you
a
right,
common
right,
listener.
right round.
Speaking of that, Renee, where are you at? Where's Renee rolling down the road
Where
at?
you at, Renee?
Renee, check.
No, I talked to Renee earlier. He's on his way back, so he might be driving.
Okay. He Applebee's in it?
No, this is the first time he's been on this side of the town in almost 3 months. So
Oh shit.
he hasn't been home since December, I think.
Is this the
Or November.
Steam Deck pickup finally?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
at
well,
last.
His birthday is like next Tuesday, so he has to get all his tag and stuff done.
Renee cumpleaños feliz or ahead of time. Happy birthday to you, sir. We only turned
Happy
21
birthday.
once. Live it up. Enjoy.
He's on the mad rush of trying to get home before he gets pulled over by the cops.
What is he, the Smokey and the Bandit of the license plate tag?
Yeah. The man has an adherence to always getting pulled over by the cops, so they'll make sure
Yes.
he's legit. So
This checks out. And for one who drives for a living, the license date and the
Yeah.
picture or the
That's his bread and butter.
license plate date is vital to his industry, as one would say.
it would be very vital. You're right.
Vital means life. I said that right?
Yes.
Yep. Make sure you take your vitamins.
Cesar, were you playing on the Vito previously? I know you'll probably cover that in games played.
No, I haven't played it that much. I was fucking around with Adventures of Mana, and I literally was waiting on you guys. I fired up that Ratchet and Clank, but I literally put 2 minutes into that thing.
Is Ratchet and Clank cross-buy?
No. I think we got it in like PlayStation Plus for free at some point.
So
That's
weird.
how I got it digitally.
It's so weird when that stuff works or doesn't work. Like I think the Sly Cooper Thieves in Time was cross-buy, the 4th one.
I want to say that
The Sly Cooper, yes. And when I bought that one, I got a digital copy on my PS3.
there is
Yeah.
one. There is one Ratchet and Clank game that is like that, where it was cross-buy, but it wasn't like
It was probably
the collection or
Full
anything.
Frontal or something. Full Frontal Assault, whatever they called that one.
Mm,
Or All for One. But All for One didn't come out for Vita.
No.
Renee says he's in Louisiana. So, Cesar, when you say on this side of town, Louisiana counts. I'm going to start driving at 2 a.m. Holy shit, Renee. Get your sleep, man. We appreciate you being on here, but damn,
And
go to bed.
it was Full Frontal Assault.
Full Frontal Assault. I
That's
ended up
correct.
putting that one together. I thought it was Full Frontal, and then I thought it was Assault. Yeah, that's a 3D title,
hold
too.
on.
I guess because I recently looked at all that 3D shit.
There we go. Because
Good
there's
job.
a little Vita
Yeah.
tag in the
Good job,
corner.
Brian. Good job.
And
We all could be playing Lost Frontier, but we're doing this instead.
Ooh, we could be playing Lost Frontier.
Gosh, and it has 10th anniversary on the front.
The Lost
That
Frontier?
was the 10th
Of
anniversary
Ratchet and
of
Clank?
Ratchet and
Lost
Clank
Frontier.
on
That's
that
our
full.
sticking with it.
Oh gosh,
Hey, man.
No, not Lost
you're,
Frontier.
You're saying words. I'm just going with it.
Brent said no, not Lost Frontier. You madman.
I never played Lost Frontier, so.
I did not either.
Good night,
I
Renee.
may have it on deck, but have not played it.
I mean, I installed it. Apparently I had a digital copy of it because, like, hey, you already own this. Click here to install. It's like, okay.
I don't think I have read. You must have bought it at some point, Cesar. It's $20 even now. I loaded my PlayStation account to do that until my PlayStation Plus expired, and then I needed that $25 all of a sudden. So,
Because outside of that, I mean, Cool Borders is like, no, you don't own Cool Borders. You got to use your PlayStation subscription to download. I was like, oh, okay. Weird. I thought it would be the other way around.
and I'm looking at 3 PlayStations right now that will play that copy of Cool Borders that I already own a physical copy of. I went with the. I guess I need to touch on that. I went with the essential tier of PlayStation Plus. I did 3 months. It was like what, $24.99. And as Cesar had pointed out before, because friend of the show Russell's back in the PlayStation ecosystem, that's the days of play is usually like 3 months from now. So I think I'm just gonna play it by ear and hope there's some membership drive thing that they do, and it's a discounted. Because as I'm looking through, all these games I downloaded that are on the front page of my PS5 to play on the portal, they're all locked. They have like a plus symbol and a lock next to them. I'm like, God.
Yeah.
And I thought, so I wanted to play some more Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. It's not Intergrade that we got for free, it's the regular one. So I have a
Yep.
copy of that, but I do not have the one with the Yuffie DLC and all that. That's on that extra tier.
Mm-hmm.
And so was Legend of Mana and like 5 other games I had downloaded. And I'm like, well, I guess that is telling me extra is probably my jam. And then I'll just buy the one-off premium one. So I think it took me longer, but I think I got around to where Brant settled on the same extra tier. So I just got to wait for a little bit of a sale there.
Yeah, I mean, it's very rarely that some of those premium games are not on sale because I think God Eaters, you can't buy God Eaters subscription only. So there's like one in a blue moon you'll run into them.
Right, and that's just overcoming the FOMO potentially of not having access to that. But I'm probably not going to play that game, so it's not.
I mean,
And I think
I don't think
I
it's a
think
big deal.
Cesar mentioned it before. It seems to be more of some of the third party stuff, like it's the Namco Bandai, it's the Capcom
yeah.
stuff. It's because I think it is Mr. Driller, Resident Evil 2, and those. So
Mr. Driller.
the rest of them you can a la carte all day. Oh yeah,
Namco's weird because some of their shit's on sale, some of it's not. Like Ridge Racers is on sale, but Ridge Racer Type 4 is not.
And Soul Calibur was.
They're
The PSP Soul Calibur was at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some of it was like their stuff is 50-50. It's weird. I don't know how they decide what to sell and what to keep subscription. So
I, for some reason, have 2 copies of Mr. Driller on Dreamcast. If anybody's like a mega fanatic Mr. Driller Dreamcast fan.
I was in 2001.
The era that Brant wasn't born yet, and he still wants to go back to.
An era he wasn't even around yet.
Yeah, sure.
Baby Brant. Oh, little itty bitty baby Brant.
As he wakes up out of bed and puts on his Nirvana shirt and goes to preschool.
Oh my god, that's so crazy. It's like he's walking to preschool. I just saw him dressing himself like no preschooler does, and then just walking to preschool.
Yeah.
I gotta go, guys. It's time for my commute. All right, let's get into this news. We have been talking PlayStation Plus, what we're doing with our PS5s. This is from Chris Scullion at VideoGamesChronicle.com. PS5 Pro specs have been leaked with improved GPU and upscaling. The updated console will reportedly launch at the end of 2024. Do we think this is accurate before we dive into this?
I think Digital Foundry came out and said they verified it and was from their sources.
It is actually all but 100% confirmed because Sony's pretty pissed. They're talking about pulling, giving developer hardware to third-party developers and only giving it to internal folks until a certain point.
Yeah, they want to limit some of the third parties to get it now. I guess it was more of a broad shipment. So
it's reactionary. They're like, oh shit.
Yeah, they are not happy that the specs of this hardware has been leaked and are looking for whoever did it.
So I was skeptical. Chris Scullion notes early on, like the first leak or whatever was Moore's Law is dead, and I don't know. I've never heard of them before. I'm not discrediting them, but it's not somebody I've heard like an IGN or The Verge, who are mentioned later on in this article. But have you ever dealt with Moore's Law is dead or that?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Okay.
They tend to leak stuff, but it's 50-50. Like sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's not. So.
And Moore's Law, of course, I don't know if the website, I'm assuming the website has something to do with that, but it's the amount of information on a microchip can double every 2 years. So that Moore's Law is like, continuing returns every other year in half the space. Mm-hmm. Documentation explaining the console specifications was initially leaked by YouTuber Moore's Law is Dead before being detailed by Insider Gaming, then verified by IGN, which says the document comes from Sony Interactive Entertainment's developer network. The specs suggest the PS5 Pro CPU will be identical to that of the standard PS5, but that the new console will have a high CPU frequency mode, which increases the CPU by 10% to 3.85 GHz, but reduces GPU performance by around 1%. The GPU itself will be powered by 33.5 teraflops versus the PS5's 10.28 teraflops, but this doesn't mean it will be more than 3 times as powerful. I think that's what Tom Warren was saying, 3 times as powerful in a tweet, and people dove in on that shit. And then he had to clarify, like, no, that's teraflops, that doesn't mean 3 times as powerful. Mm-hmm. As The Verge notes, changes in AMD's architecture means it's difficult to directly compare teraflops directly between PS5 and PS5 Pro, and then in reality, the comparison is more like 10.28 versus around 17. So that's still double-ish. That doesn't mean double-ish performance. Indeed, the documentation leaked by Moore's Law and is dead suggests rendering is about 45% faster. So that's closer to 50%. The console's apparent upscaling and anti-aliasing features are also listed in the specs, named PSSR, which stands for
Almost sounds like a
Yeah, I
USSR,
know, that's
but
where
let's
I
go with
was
that.
going.
Yeah. Every time I
Uh,
hear it, I'm like,
the
ooh,
Soviet,
they're bringing that
yeah,
back.
the Soviet PlayStation resolution. I almost read revolution. We almost went full circle.
Mm.
The PlayStation Soviet States Revolution. It's believed this could
Was
be
the designer Lenin on there? You look on there? Yeah.
That's actually PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution. It's believed that could be the proprietary DLSS-like solution discussed last year by Giant Bomb reporter Jeff Grubb. So not an industry-wide spec, but like a PlayStation-specific. What is that? AI upscaling and rendering tool that's built into.
Yeah.
It's built into the
I mean,
hardware.
we don't know, so that's probably why they're very upset, because I think a lot of people have been diving into stuff, and I mean, it's not a huge upgrade, so they're like, I say, somebody was making an example on Twitter about how, it was easy to market the PS4 Pro because introduced 4K and HDR, and that was like technology that's coming out there. Now it's kind of like they don't know what you would need a PS5 Pro for, when it just seems like a standard graphics upgrade, since you're not taking an additional performance boost in the CPU.
Yeah.
But people are bitching about the CPU and the FPSs on that one. But I think there's only like 4 or 5 games that are restrictive to CPU for performance right now.
What are those? What is like being bottlenecked by the current PS5 CPU?
I know Dragon's Dogma 2 is, and that doesn't run great on PC either. So I mean, I think it's stuck at 30 frames per second on majority of the most powerful PCs.
So that's just a title optimization that has nothing to do with our console hardware, right?
Rebirth is, people argue about that because of the performance versus graphical mode.
But see, some of the stuff like that's a graphics card upgrades, that console. So it depends on the game design. I think there's only like 4 games. I don't think Rebirth was on that list that are restrictive to the CPU. I think I had to look at the list. There's not many of them. I think there's like they said 3,000 games that are playable on PS5. I think there are 4 of them that are CPU based, which means that without a CPU upgrade, you're not going to see any performance boost whatsoever. So I think the biggest one would be Grand Theft Auto, because everybody's talking about this is Grand Theft Auto 6, but Grand Theft Auto 5 is CPU based. And that's why that game didn't run like 120 frames or 60 frames per second. It didn't even run 60 frames per second when it went from PS3 to PS4. So that's just the way the game is designed. So they don't see how all this people coming out there like, well, now GTA 6 is going to be the best place to play it is on PS5 Pro because it's going to be 60 frames per second. A lot of people are skeptical on that. So unless they've changed their engine. But
a lot of the times that we've seen this with like remastered efforts and ports, you can't just all of a sudden like wave a wand and make something 60 frames per second. It breaks certain. I think GTA 5 was like that, right? You can't just wave this wand and it all of a sudden has this performance boost that throws off physics on cars, and that's why things don't just get that magic wand for Series X upscaling and stuff like that. It's not that easy. It has to be optimized by the code that the game is running off of. And certain people are wizards at running that. Like an Insomniac game probably is going to take advantage of this, right? Or a Naughty Dog game. We're going to see like peak
first party probably.
Yeah, we're going to see peak PS5 performance on one of these type devices, but I don't know that qualifies for we always now gaming is distilled to Fortnite, Warzone, Apex. Are those going to see crazy boosts that sell more of these consoles, you know?
The other one was Arkham Knights. That was one of them too. The new one that came out.
Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights.
I'm like, damn, I know that had some issues with like the Batmobile and stuff, but I can't remember.
My apologies. Gotham Knights. That one stuck at 30 frames per second on consoles too. They said that wouldn't help that because that's a CPU based game. So like I said, that's always going to be stuck at 30 frames unless they upgrade the CPU. So no, I mean the most important thing on this one is I'm more interested in seeing the new Nintendo hardware because Nvidia uses AI to enhance their graphics, and they've been doing it for years. AMD doesn't have anything out there yet. So, I mean, they've announced shit, but they haven't actually brought it out. So I think that's why Sony went out there and made their own.
Oh, AMD has done nothing of this sort.
They announced something, but it's not really out. So that's why you have a PlayStation-based one because, like I said, either AMD doesn't have it ready yet still, and Sony had to go do it on their own. So I think the problem is that you look at these specs, you don't know what the fuck you're getting into. They're upset about it because you're going to have to do a pitch, and they probably haven't decided how they're going to pitch, like, oh, this is why you would want to buy this. Because outside of that, I think the big seller on that, when you look at the specs, is that I'm curious on the AI part, because what they could do is on some of these GPU-based games, they could run them at a lower resolution, like 1080p or 1400, and then use checkerboarding to get to as close as they can to 4K, and with the AI you can, where it's not you almost can't tell with the human eye that it doesn't look right.
Yeah.
AI does help with that. So, and then you essentially you would get that to checkerboard into 4K, running at like 1080p or 1400p or 1200p, and then get those games running at 60 frames, and get as close as you can as to a performance mode at 60 frames per second. So that's my guess is what's going to happen with a lot of these games that are out now. You may see some that go 120 frames per second, but we don't know because I mean you would have to demo it and show it. So, I mean, because based off these specs, it's not a huge upgrade, and right now. I mean, there's not really a reason. Like it's like me looking at it, I don't know if I would buy it either because I didn't buy a VR2. I don't look at this. It depends on what it does. So I mean, if it doesn't really do much, I don't think I would buy it. So
I sent
myself.
I was gauging our interest over the past couple weeks. GameStop has done various. I'm not a big fan of that retailer for a myriad of reasons. But I've sent some deals like, hey, trade in a PS5 and get a Slim with Spider-Man for $80, something like that. Like there's decent upgrade paths to upgrade to a Slim right now. And Cesar was like, I kind of want to wait and see how this rumored Pro thing comes out. Is it more or less just upgrading the machine versus like starting a new warranty essentially, like I was talking about doing with the Spider-Man bundles? Or is it, I mean, honestly, we still don't have a reason to have to own this currently, unless it is that big GTA 6 pitch. Are they thinking there's that many people who are going to want to play this the absolute best way possible, and that's just an immediate system seller?
I mean, there's always going to be somebody who wants that, but I think what they said was a PS4 Pro counted 20% of the lifetime sales of a PS4.
Yeah, that was
it's not a huge amount.
That was important. But the PS4
so
Pro,
that's why
we saw a difference. We saw a difference from PS4 to PS4 Pro, right? Like it was.
It made sense. 4K and HDR. HDR, I think they had to patch it into the old system, and it was
right
flimsy as it was in certain games. So it wasn't great. It's like, yeah, we got it to work on the the original PS4, and sometimes it was a hit, and sometimes it's like, it doesn't look right.
Right.
Because it wasn't really designed for HDR.
It wasn't. And then all of a sudden you had a machine that really felt like what that machine could have been to start with. And played the best version of like, I love my PS5, but those previous generations, there was way more output of titles that I was ready to grab day one. And I haven't had that as much excitement this gen. And I've played a lot more like online multiplayer shooters with y'all. Am I having less fun? I would argue I'm having more fun, but I'm definitely purchasing less of these experiences.
Yeah, I mean, they're more expensive. They're more crowded together, and there's not been that many first-party games because they kind of they still haven't made the transition right because of the the pandemic, and that kind of threw everything off. And now it's kind of late in the development cycle. So I mean, you're gonna get that weird bunch, probably what we did last generation. We're gonna get a whole bunch of shit towards the end of the PS5 that's gonna also be on PS6. So that's probably what's gonna end up happening. So
shoot, there was something announced last week that was for PS4 still.
Okay.
Wasn't it Monster Hunter Stories 2 that got announced, and it's coming to PS4 and Switch?
1 and 2, yeah. One's getting ported to Switch, and then 1 and 2's coming to PS4.
Again, they've got that install base of 140 million, 30 million consoles, whatever it is, and like the Tomb Raider collection that just came out, PS4, Xbox One, they're more than enough to run 60 frame per second Lara Croft collections. So we get those versions across both, and that just works.
You saw the Lara Croft collection on the PS5 got patched to 4K 120. So.
Did it really?
Yeah, this last week. Yeah.
Holy shit.
And it's on sale net right now at least. So at least I bought it on Steam. If I don't, I'll buy it again. Fuck it.
I'll buy them. But yeah, it literally just got patched to 4K 120 on PlayStation 5.
I already wanted to support that because I was skeptical of it to start with, but then when we read that,
unlike the other one, the other company came out with, that's doing poorly right now.
They're aspiring.
From the same, talk about that in 2 seconds.
They're aspiring
the same
to make a decent
company.
Yeah. No, but that Lara Croft collection, they hired the guy that was working on that Open Lara project, porting it to 3DO and Game Boy Advance and all kinds of crazy shit. And that to me was like, I love it. Instead of sending cease and desist, like he stopped working on Open Lara, but instead of like just stopping these people's work, like the AM2R, who wouldn't want that Metroid project, right? Even though there was that game coming from Mercury Steam. Like, come on, these are your most ardent fans, and they're on the mod scene, and like PC embraces that, and it seems like Bethesda was doing it with like Skyrim and Morrowind mods and stuff. Like, bring those people to the forefront of your teams.
I mean, I mentioned this before when on the podcast. Like Durante does that for, he removed all the DRMs and made PC games better. So they've hired him to do those Trails games on PC. So he's been doing that for the last 3 or 4 years.
Got him a job.
Nintendo the only one that's kind of been fighting back on that because like Sony just literally hired somebody who did the the PCSX2 emulator. Yeah. They hired that company to bring over more PS2 games. So I mean, that's what he did was he freaking developed the emulator for
and
that.
And Nintendo just killed Nintendo just killed the #1 like PC Switch emulator, and I understand why. Yeah. And we talked about that and the fact that they're getting Patreon funds, but these people know that in and out. It's like the FBI hiring the guy from Catch Me If You Can. Like, you know all the secrets, you know how to get around all this stuff. We're gonna bring you on to help spot that stuff. Interview these people. These are the people you want. They're gonna know. They're gonna know it inside and out.
Yeah, stop trying to beat him, man. Just give him the join, man. The guy did the PlayStation emulators. Like they just gave him the job and he did it. So now he's just hopefully we'll get more PS2 games. I guess that's the plan.
Yeah, that story Cesar's talking about an emulator that someone's been optimizing, just increasing compatibility, and it works on Steam Deck and all sorts of platforms. Like I guess a Linux version runs on Steam Deck, but they were hired by Sony, so hopefully that increases. Ports, PS2 classics, PS3 games, maybe some native ones, not streaming. I don't know where that goes. But it would.
What you might remember? What was the brand? It was Konami and was it 2K were the ones that just got added to the website of people bringing their games over to Sony on that using the emulators. I think they added the logos for them just recently. So
as like a trademark thing.
As they put on their company like companies we work with to put. Yeah, these games on the PlayStation, and they added Konami. Konami wasn't on there before. I forgot the other one on there. And it was 2 companies that were just magically added to their we work with page.
So what is that, like Metal Gear, Yu-Gi-Oh, Castlevania,
Silent Hill 2,
Turtles
3, yeah. Your Bomberman series from multiple consoles.
Yep. Konami has Hudson Soft stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Bomberman.
Your favorite ever to Twin Bee with all the nudity?
There was a Twin Bee platformer. So I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about a Twin Bee platform. It's like Rainbow something.
What is Twin Bee?
You don't know what Twin Bee is?
He knows what Twin Bee is. He just isn't. He's not thinking of it.
Twin Bee. It's a like candy based. It was candy stuff, right?
Yeah, it's like one of those bullets from like Mario, but colorful.
Video games.
Yeah, these arms over here. And...
It's not a cute 'em up, but it's like fantastical ships.
Mm-hmm.
But they made a platformer called Rainbow something, and I can't remember if it was on TurboGrafx or what. But I was listening to this podcast, and they read an EGM review of it and left out key points, and one of the contestants knew that it was like Rainbow something. I'm like, what? A Twin Bee platformer?
Yeah. They always think of like, all right, we're gonna do a platformer on this one thing.
Yep. Brant's deep in the research. Yeah.
You also have Richard's favorite Death Junior is a Konami game.
Death Junior made by Mike over there at Digital Eclipse.
Mm. You never know, that could get it's a PSP game that could end up on the.
Oh my god, I tried playing that a couple years ago on my PSP kick, and it just like, oh man, the promise was there, but it was like very tech demo-ish. It was not, it was not a lot of fun to play. I need to give the second one a shot. I bet they fleshed out a bunch of those ideas for Death Junior.
Oh, Root of Evil, yeah.
That's Poppin' Twin Bee Rainbow Bell Adventure.
That's it. That's a platformer in the Twin Bee verse. I never knew it existed. I'm glad y'all brought up Twin Bee because all of a sudden I'm like, damn,
side-scrolling platform game.
What was it on?
Published and developed by Konami, 16-bit era.
I want to say they said Turbo.
Click on this.
It might be Genesis or something, or Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo.
I had never heard of that game. That's pretty much it from the PS5 Pro stuff, right?
Yeah.
Pricing?
Yep.
Y'all think there's any sort of pricing?
$600 probably.
$599.
Yeah, probably around $600.
Somebody was saying $499.
US dollars.
$499. I was laughing like, yeah, not $499. What? Be reasonable. Get out of here.
Somewhere I've got $599 US dollars behind me somewhere on one of these. There it is.
They priced a headset and controllers bundle higher than their console, so you know.
So yeah, at the end of the day, to sum up this whole story is we're gonna have to wait to see what the fuck this actually does and who is it for. So
Yeah.
it's the same thing as anything. It's always as it ever was.
And we're
Same as it
same
ever
as
was.
it ever was. And we're gonna be and we're gonna be discussing the PlayStation VR 2 in a little while, and that kind of falls under the same category in my opinion. Next up, from Jordan Midler at VideoGamesChronicle.com, Modder claims Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection used their work without permission.
Dun, dun, dun.
Prior to release, Modder Lamb Shaman.
I am a shaman, I'm guessing.
Oh,
is
it's
the-
not an L, it's an I. I am a shaman.
Yes.
I am a shaman claimed that footage of Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection that appeared in a trailer suggested the developer Aspire was using his mod. Following this, Aspire released a statement claiming it had, quote, mistakenly used footage of this mod and that it was a placeholder. Now, following the full release, players appear to have discovered evidence that prior to a very last-minute patch, the game shipped with the uncredited mod work. Oh, Aspire.
Hey, this man.
Aspire. Yes, bring him on.
Yeah.
Footage noticed by IGN shows a player on Reddit showing off the character Asajj Ventress using what appears to be I Am Shaman's mod. While the current version of the game has removed these animations, Aspire has yet to comment on how I Am Shaman's work appeared in the game. I want to stop for a second. Brant, thank you for clarifying that name because I would have read it like 8 times incorrectly. Llama
The
Shaman.
only reason I'm pretty sure it's I am a shaman is because their Twitter picture looks like some kind of
Shaman.
fan art of a Pokemon called Shaman. So
Is it erotic?
no.
Okay. I immediately went to...
Yeah, I mean,
there's a
just scroll
possibility.
down.
I mean,
It's
if
right
it's,
there.
if it's
It's
Pokemon, it has to be erotic. You know that. You know the rule. Yeah.
I do know the rule. You guys taught me the rule in the show. I wasn't aware of it.
Rule
Oh, no.
34. Yeah, Rule 34.
The game, which was released on Thursday, has been met with significant criticism.
Just know if you ever go to a website that says Rule 34 search at the top, just get out that website.
Oh,
so.
sir, my search result led me to a subreddit that included this, so I guess it was that was my point of discovery.
It's like those weird things when I'm like scrolling through Twitter at certain places I shouldn't be scrolling Twitter and like, oh wow, they put this on Twitter. That's enough internet for the day.
Oh, it's definitely Reddit for me, and it's like, how is the algorithm? It was something about a bear that like mauled this guy in India, but I'm just scrolling, and I guess it's popular or something. The algorithm fed me this bear, and I'm like, what is a bear doing to that guy? And he's like mauling him, and I see this cam video, and I'm like, why did it feed this to me? I've never looked up bears to that extent, or maulings, or video death. Why did this feed this to me?
It's like,
what did I do?
It's like I blame Renee because every time he sends me those weird videos of somebody getting beat up in a Taco Bell, now I'm getting like videos of somebody getting shot in the head. I'm like, why is this in my Twitter stuff?
Here.
I'm like, thanks, Renee.
Here, because you watched Assault at Taco
the
Bell.
algorithm goes, ooh, you like violence.
Like, oh yeah, watch this
Here you
person
go.
die. I was like, great, this is always what I wanted to see.
Right, and
like-
I'm like, okay, this person's mom's out there, and the mom knows that there's a video of their child being mauled by a bear on the internet, and that will never go away. It goes on to note the criticism on Battlefront Collection. I believe it's been patched. We all need to be playing on PlayStation.
It's being worked on. It's still not 100%.
Brent's
yet.
like, I'm waiting till the work is done. That's what Brent said.
I have several copies for the original Xbox in that room right next to me that I played 20 years ago almost to this point, and skipped a lot of school to play via LAN.
No, we're not telling on ourselves.
I'm past the statute limitation.
You're gonna say consent, weren't you?
No,
What?
because no one that would care that I skipped a lot of school is listening to the show. I promise you that. Except Renee. Renee already went to bed.
Yeah.
Renee's always worried about me.
As I put Renee on blast for all the violent videos he sends us. So.
Thanks, Renee. One of those I loved. The other one I did not get into as much. I did not like the ability to play as heroes. I felt like all infantry battles was the way to go. But I also didn't play online. It was a bunch of LAN stuff, so maybe it had a bigger online appeal. Someone tell me about PlayStation VR 2 and when can I buy one? I'm ready. There's no compelling hardware or software reason. There is a compelling hardware reason.
You can go down to the store right now and buy them. I see them every time I go to the store.
They're not
They're
hard
falling
to
off the
find.
shelves. They're falling off the shelves.
Thick layer of dust over
I'm
there.
always looking. You know how people post on like game collecting subreddit and stuff, like they find these Walmart either returns or open box that are like half off. Somebody got 7 Rebirth Collector's Edition for $49.99 because it had that big yellow Walmart clearance sticker on it because somebody had returned it. And I'm like, before launch, before it came out, they got it for less than half off. I'm like, come on.
Hey, man, they're trying to get physical media out the stores, man. They can't have that shit sitting on shelves.
I feel like Walmart has kind of held solid, though. They've doubled down on records. They actually have CDs that you can buy. One closest to us, like, doubled their book and magazine section.
And then I've seen on Twitter that they clearanced all their manga to like $1 in some places. So, and people are like, buy it up. They're on Twitter like they're getting rid of all of them. So it's weird.
Is it worth going on a hunt to see if we find any?
Nah, I didn't go. I just saw it though. People are like, check your Walmart. So I was like, I don't feel like going around. I given up on the days of me going driving like Tennessee to go to fucking Rhino to figure out they got something there.
So Target,
because I did that once before, and I was like, I'm not doing it again.
Target's game section is sad, and we've talked about that. But I feel like they've really stepped up with books and magazines and music and movies.
Yeah, because that. I mean, it's surprising with manga because manga has been selling even more recently. So like they couldn't keep it in stock. So I don't know if it finally they're meeting demand now, and that's why some places are clearing them out. But it's like you said, there's certain things that are very people would consider like a niche market, and like books, records, and all that kind of stuff. It's people are buying that up, so there a lot of places are keeping variety in that shit stock. Because before it was like back in the day, we had to go to fucking Barnes and Nobles to find records that were overpriced.
Yeah, they were because they own that like niche market for that.
Right next to your overpriced Criterion Collection DVDs.
They
and
sure
Blu-rays
did.
That were like $60 for each movie.
They sure did. They had a whole Criterion Collection section. Cesar, now that you mention it, a bunch of that manga that I would see at Walmart is like volume 1 and 2 of certain things. So I guess the hook there is to take a hit and sell you a discounted version of the first couple volumes, and then hope maybe you go on Walmart.com and order the rest of them. They had Berserk. They had Berserk volume 1, that big, nice, thick, black and red hardcover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because Berserk, I think the mangaka just died last year. He died last year. So.
Yeah.
And I've got volume 1 and 2. Friend of the show, Joel, is a huge fan of that series.
Hey, Berserk, what was it, Guts Rage or what it was called on Dreamcast was like one of my favorite games, man. I beat the shit out of that game.
That was a good one. Is it faithful to the source material?
Yes. I mean, I haven't really, outside of watching some anime from the 1997 anime, I haven't really watched that much Berserk, so I don't know if I'll be the go-to source to say yay or nay, but from what I could tell, it was.
Gotcha.
Now
back to PSVR 2.
Yeah.
And no more Berserk on Dreamcast?
This comes to us from Chris Golion, courtesy VGC, which says that reportedly Bloomberg claims that PSVR shipments have progressively gotten smaller and smaller every quarter since the headset's launch. So reportedly cited by a research firm IDC, which tracks deliveries to retailers rather than consumer sales. It says that Sony has a surplus of PSVR 2 headsets throughout the supply chain.
I'm not shocked.
Of course.
I'm not shocked in the least. Do y'all know anybody with a PSVR 2? In any of our circles?
I've had a old coworker and a friend from school who was a huge VR enthusiast and had a PlayStation VR. Has not bought a VR.
We all are. Like, I would consider us I would consider us VR enthusiasts, right? We were early adopters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I jumped right away.
His biggest complaint is that he literally owns hundreds of VR games on PS4. He's like, I can't play any of this shit. He's like, I can't play this shit on the new one. So he's like, why would I buy the new one?
That seemed like
there's nothing on the new one that's pulling him right now.
That seemed like such a simple. And I know the magic wand, right? It's not that easy, but it seemed like so simple. You gotta make this work. It would be so much easier to hook up one thing to play Astro Bot, right? I would buy one right now. Backwards compatible. Yeah. I'm going to Walmart tonight and buying one.
I mean, fuck. I mean, if you even, it's like, all right, you can't use the new controllers. You got to use your Move controllers. Fuck it, I'll do it. I mean, it's one less thing I have to fucking hook up.
I'm looking at them right there. I got Move controllers right there.
Fuck it, I get it. You can't port 1-to-1 over to the new ones. I get it. But you still have to use your old ones here. Fine, I still got them. That's cool.
Make it easier for me. Yeah. I'm lazy. Make it easy for me to just hook one cable into the thing that I already have hooked up, and I'm ready.
I use the fucking box to plug it into the
The
box. And plug it into your console.
breakaway Wii box.
Yeah. As I'm trying to walk in the room and tripping over 85 cables and everything's flying off the TV stand. So.
Oh, it looks like you're getting hooked up for an EKG. I just
Yeah.
want to play some video games. Leave me alone.
As you're sweating bullets, you try to figure out what the fuck did I knock down. it's ripping everything off.
What's happening out there?
I hear a whole bunch of noise. Oh, get this shit off of me! Get me out the machine.
It's the dog with the "that's fine" meme, sipping the coffee and everything's on fire. You're just in the VR headset. You have no clue. It's actually Resident Evil 7 outside the headset.
Okay, so the article goes on to
You know the
talk
rules.
about-
Always blame Brant. That's what I do.
always blame me.
Brant's fault.
Press F to blame Brant.
Got right.
Hotkey.
PlayStation VR 2 released February 2023, of course, at $550 here in the United States. Sony
U.S. dollars, $550 US.
Sony has yet to officially confirm how many units have sold. Previously, the IDC suggested sales started slowly, around about 270,000 units sold by the end of March
It was a
2023.
It was a faster adoption rate immediately, I feel like, but then that fell off also almost immediately. You had early adopters and no tail after that, right?
Yeah. Sony claimed later that it sold around 600,000 units during the first 6 weeks. Bloomberg reports IDC estimates that the sales declined about 435K in 2023 Q2, then declined again in Q3 by 343.6K, and then again in Q4 by 325.2K.
Price drop. Give me a price drop. Let me support.
And of course, the support for PSVR 2 games have been slim since the headset's launch. But we did get...
They can't even get fucking Rec Room on there.
Two first-party games.
We've got Horizon Call of the Mountain and Gran Turismo, which I know people, at least online, talk about the Gran Turismo 7...
probably the reason I own a VR2.
Yeah, being it, but that's a lot of money to drop just for Gran Turismo.
Then I would be happy with a Village and 4. But it's not enough for 3 games for me. So.
And then they did also mention, what is it? They released Firewall Ultra, the online team-based shooter.
Cesar, is that the one we
August.
tried for the first PlayStation VR?
I think
We
so.
bought the gun with it?
Firewall.
No, that was was that Farsight?
No.
It was Farsight, yeah. The one I got sick on and that had to bandage you on.
Yes.
There's
I was right behind
Firewall, 0 Hour, and then there's, I think what you all are talking about is Farpoint.
Farpoint. Farsight's the gun from Perfect Dark that shoots through the walls.
I just always, as soon as I hear them all, I just hear the dying sound. I was like, how did it get me?
Killed by CIA sim.
Yeah. Fuck this guy. Fuck this game.
Fuck this guy. Fuck this game. Fuck this Farsight. Oh yes, Farpoint.
But they do note that that game only received a score on Metacritic of 61, and then the rest of the article goes on to kind of tout the abysmal outlook, where the COO of the Rec Room team said it's not really worth porting Rec Room to VR2, and the fact that Sony is looking into compatibility with PC for the PSVR 2, which could possibly boost sales, and hopefully that's just hey, look, there you go, we added a driver and there's an update and now you can plug it in and do it, rather than you have to download a proprietary software and look, now there's a PlayStation launcher. And
oh god, you think they would trap it behind all that? Time will tell.
Sure, why not?
Who knows?
Let's piss people off. Let's go.
They need to get these things out there, and it's back to like the Vita and the Wii U and the chicken and the egg. You have to have the software to sell the device. There's no compelling argument, and we're ready to. We're trying to, and there's no compelling argument.
If it runs on PC, well, I would day one it.
You have the PC, yeah. You have the PC to run it too, and I've bought a couple games that have been like Steam VR compatible. I could play Skyrim on this thing. I could play Half-Life Alyx if I get around to playing some other Half-Life games.
Because if I'm not tied to the Sony console, which is not bringing the software, and I can do it to like a PC, which does, I think for $5.99, $5.49 would be a great value.
It is
right now, just for that for PlayStation 5, what they got out there. No,
isn't there a separate Steam VR launcher thing? I think I had it on here at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it depends. I have to wait and see because all they say is like, oh, it's gonna be compatible with PC. I got to see how and what it is too. And if it's like hampered by a whole bunch of limitations on it, that will kill the excitement for me. So just all depends.
Watch them lock it to like Epic Game Store VR, like GOG VR or something. It's locked to some exclusive partner.
I don't know, man. It's just gonna be weird because as soon as they put PC in there, and I got lost in that Reddit thread where everybody was excited about playing their hentai games in VR, and I was like, this place is weird. So I was like,
so I've actually got that on my desktop.
That and the other joke is where everybody talking about the Steam family thing, where they're like, yeah, wait until you get invited to family and they look at all your hentai games.
Oh yeah, the family sharing.
Yeah. They're just coming in. It's like, damn, what the fuck you playing on this thing, man?
I got those through a Humble bundle. Never mind. Ignore that.
Don't worry, I'm already restricting access to your ass on this thing. restrict.
So I've got the Steam VR launcher on my desktop. I have no games installed on this machine that I could tell. I only have VR games installed on this computer. I have Expect You to Die, A Fisherman's Tale, and Super Hot VR, and Black Mesa. So like I think that's when I was messing around with the Oculus Quest on here. And so if it was a decent PSVR 2 machine, yes, I would definitely be dipping more into that VR library. Why would I buy it? Mm-hmm. But what does PlayStation gain out of that if you're not buying those games on this ecosystem? Because that's also been my other counter argument. Is like I have so many of these Quest games, I'm not buying them again on PSVR 2.
So I think what they're doing is like a lot of these people are not. It's not a compelling reason to put it on there. I guess if they get these games running on the PSVR 2, then they're like, and it's working on PC, they might just be like, all right, fuck it, we'll just port it over to PlayStation. So I think it's just, I mean, maybe ease of development. It depends on how well it ports over. So I don't know. So I mean, it also adds value to maybe you get some of those PlayStation-based VR games on PC and it runs on there too. So that's some more software avenue you can put on there or whatever they do have. So I don't know, man. The backwards compatibility is what they need to figure out. Is my complaint. So.
That would be the first big
across
step,
the board,
and the PC thing's coming already. Do we have a date on that PC arrival?
Sometime this year. That's all it says. But I'm curious to see if it is, 1-to-1. If it plug it in, it works on everything. Then I'll buy one that day. I'll literally go down the store and pick one off the shelf. So
yeah, I've got a USB-C port right on the front of this machine. Yeah. Plug it in.
Same.
Plug it in and go.
Got one there. Same. Yeah.
All right. Was that all from that story?
Yep.
All right. $549. That thing's fucking $549.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been out
more expensive than the console that takes to play it.
And it's good hardware. I know it's good hardware. It hurts me to say.
Oh yeah.
It hurts me to say I don't have a need for it yet. I want to be there with it. Oh, give me backwards compatibility. Oh, as well as some PC greatness.
It must be super difficult to get it working because otherwise, I would imagine they would have been doing it already. So
right.
The real reason is probably super expensive and probably not feasible for them to do it. It's probably why.
Or Jim Ryan didn't know why people want to play those old games.
I mean, he was busy trying to get a Sea of Thieves in 2023 on there.
It worked.
and then come back in court and tell them that Microsoft was trying to hamper competition.
He got his wish. I don't know. Sea of Thieves is
he's over there. He's over there playing all sides of the court. He's like, I could do offense. I could do defense.
Special teams. Cesar, you want to take the Xbox Wire? Is this it for us for news?
Yep.
I would not like to take the Xbox Wire.
All right, let's go.
I gotta go get some water here.
Coming soon. Coming to Xbox Game Pass. I'm not gonna go down that list. I'm gonna read these titles. F1 23, The Quarry, Evil West, which we just got on PlayStation Plus. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged. That first game was really good. Open Roads. Super Hot Mind Control Delete. I guess that's an expansion for Super Hot. Ark Survival Ascended. Diablo 4. That's a biggie. And Terra Invicta in-game preview. Available today. They just refresh some games we already talked about. Lightyear Frontier and MLB The Show 24. And this is via the Xbox Wire and Megan Spur. And that was... I don't see a date on this article. It says available today, but that's already out now, right? MLB
yes,
The Show.
I believe this came out just a few days ago.
The Quarry is coming March 20th. Evil West is March 21st. Terra Invicta it is March 26th. Diablo 4 for console and PC. I didn't know the PC part was included there. Is March 28th. So that is next week as of this recording. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 is March 28th. Open Roads is March 28th. Ark Survival Ascended is April 1st. F123 is April 2nd. Super Hot Mind Control Delete. Here we go. Making a return to the Game Pass library. Time moves only when you move. Super Hot Mind Control Delete gives you more insight into the signature power fantasy world of Super Hot. With more story, more signature gameplay, more action, more guns. Keep dancing the slow motion ballet of destruction for so much longer than ever before. April 2nd, cloud, console, and PC. NBA 2K24, cloud and console, available now. Not doing DLC game updates. Not doing ultimate perks, except for the aforementioned Persona 3 Reload expansion pass. That was a big deal. And your games leaving Game Pass on March 31st are Hot Wheels Unleashed. The first one, because you'll now have access to 2 turbocharged. Infinite Guitars and MLB The Show 23, which you will probably not want to play after the release of MLB The Show 24. Is that it for news?
That is it.
That's it for news. Let's get on to games played. All I have played is some Helldivers with you guys.
Well done.
So we can touch on more Helldivers. Did we play any? The kids played some demos last week. That's it. I just haven't had time. I haven't had time to play anything. If I've had any free time, it's been to play Helldivers with you fine gentlemen. So I'll segue into either Cesar or Brant's Helldivers updates and add on to their Tales of Woe and bug killing.
Are you done?
Yeah, that's it. I haven't touched anything else.
I mean, same. I mean, I haven't really played much. Probably Brant be on there for 60 years talking about his
like he does.
play.
You know how he does.
Yeah. I've been busy, studying, doing other things outside playing games. The only thing I decided to play this weekend was Uden Chronicles Rising, because that Uden Chronicles is coming out in another month. So
it is. This is like a prequel story, right?
It's like a taste tester, like kind of like an idea of what that world is, and because the gameplay is not like what we're getting on the RPG on there. Because this one was more of a side scroller, Metroidvania light, where you pull up the map and you can look at locations you've been to, but it wasn't as deep as I mean, it could be categorized as like a indie type of ish game.
Yeah.
So I mean, that one. He plays a girl named CJ who left home to find a treasure that is more valuable than the one that her parents found, because it's a rite of passage for her growing up, and she can't return home until she finds something. So she ends up going into this town, New Novia, and becomes a scavenger there. And you get locked into this world where she's trying to fill out a stamp card and purchase a explorer's license, so that way she can find this her ideas of runes lens, which is their ability to cast magic in that world. A giant, humongous lens is what she calls it, to bring home. And along the way, she ends up meeting Isha, which is Aisha. I keep doing Isha. Isha's it's fucking doctor in Japanese. Pretty sure she's called Aisha. But Aisha and who's the acting mayor, and then a kangaroo.
I was about to say, there's a
Rue.
kangaroo in this one, right, with an eye patch.
Yeah. So then as they go through, and they all have their own, allegiances, and things they got going on in life, and so it's like they just kind of build like this whole thing where they become a team at the very end. So it's like it does leave some story threads not completed. So like I guess the idea is you find out more about these side characters because they're not main characters or side characters in the final game. So I think the only girl that I saw in the trailer that was directly from this game is the girl who's a magical girl in there. So because she's in the trailer, and she was a character you interacted with in there. So
it's really cool
it's
like a prequel spin-off of what the main event's going to be. Like it was a surprise announcement, and it's available in everything. And it kind of reminds me of like
I think it might still be on Game Pass right now. So.
I think so. It reminds me of like remember when Dark Void came out, like that PS3 Capcom Rocketeer style game, and then we also got like a Game Boy Color style game, like an 8-bit version, and that ended up being the superior one. I don't think that'll be the case here, but it's a unique intro to that world, like Cesar was saying.
Yeah, so I did that. I think it took me about it's like 12 hours to beat the game. It's not that long, so I mean,
that's not bad.
I did get into the habit of like just grinding and stuff like that. It does have that dopamine when you get there and like you find shit and like you level up and you're like, oh okay, and you get stronger. You do different link attacks, and it does get interesting as you level up. And I mean, but it's not long. It's not that deep. I mean, it was like I said, it's really just a taste tester of what is coming. And I think I'm pretty sure it was on the Game Pass store page when I looked at it earlier today that it's advertised that the full game's coming out to Game Pass as well next month, so you'd be able to play it on there.
Yep,
so,
that was a big get.
Oh, for 505 games. So, but yeah, as of games played outside of just the Helldivers that I play with you guys, which I don't think anything of note. We're still getting our feet wet and getting into a groove. I think we got into a good groove now, so we're not outside of maybe a battle with 3 chargers at once. We're not constantly dying like we normally are.
That one.
Hey, the mech does work, man. My mech was killing ass, and
the mech is clutch.
The one level with
the
one level with the automatons where we were like the siege level where you just have to defend against the wave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Jesus, that one sucked.
Well, see that I think we screwed up because we never tiered off of our sentries because we did it all at once and they died all at once because they're also timed, and I don't have the ship upgrades to keep them alive longer.
That makes sense.
So we should have did like somebody did it 1 minute and waited another minute. Somebody did the next minute. That way, as we go through, we always keep cycling them. Like, we're not sitting there for the full 3 fucking minutes waiting for them to come back on both of us, and that's how we die. So I think it's just a lot of this game is very strategic, and you have to do like the stratagems and meet up with people. You can't just sit there and choose whatever the fuck you want to get on there. You have to do certain loadouts that helps. And I was complaining yesterday from to Brant that I couldn't get access to the direct orders. It wouldn't let me go to the planet. So I think friend of the show Russell texted me this morning. He's like, "Yeah, you're supposed to go. There's a route you have to go. So like you have to go through 3 planets before you can get to the final planet where you do the direct orders." I was like, "Holy shit, really?" I said, "This is a fucking god tier game."
How are you supposed to know that? What is the meta out there that helps you discover that?
I guess they just put it on Twitter all the time. So like he sent me the link on Twitter. It's like, yeah, everybody's arguing the best way to get to the planet. So it's like you go 1, 2, and 3. Some people are going the other way, and they're like, "Don't go this way because you can't get to it." I was like, damn, this game's fucking god tier, man. It's like you have to do all this shit just to get to the final area. It's pretty cool how they keep that shit updated and stuff. So
friend of the show Russell took off with that title. Like we've been jamming on it for 2 weeks, and then he had to have a PS5. He went and found one and downloaded the game, and he has just been going bonkers with it. He's been playing like nightly. He's double my level, I think.
Even though I see him right now playing Catan on Xbox, but
Wednesday night. That's a Wednesday night thing for him.
Yeah, him. Was it him, Mark, and Patrick? I think are on there, from what I can tell on there.
That's his crew.
But yeah, that's it for me. I mean, I haven't really played much else. I'm still holding off on Rebirth because I know they got a patch coming out soon to fix some of that shit. So I'm kind of just a holdout for that right now, and until that patch gets out. So. Yeah, but that's it. Unless you want to sit here and let me talk about me playing Adventures of Mana for the 15th time on PlayStation Vita.
Is it good?
And doing that for the first. It's a fucking cell phone game, so it doesn't look like anything like the original.
Is it good?
But I'm enjoying it.
Are you better off playing the Mana Collection version, the Game Boy one?
You're better off just playing the Switch one.
Oh.
So, but I just want to fucking go through it because I want to go through Secret of Mana too. I got a couple of friends at work they're going through Secret of Mana right now for the first time, and they've been enjoying
really?
it. So. Yeah, but they're doing the PlayStation 4 version. So I was like, a lot of people talk about
3D one,
the 2D one. Yeah, there's a lot of people talk about the 2D one. They're like, it's like I saw this. I had the Switch one. It's like, I'd rather do the 3D one. So I was like, hey man, enjoy your games.
How?
I mean, I'm not here to the game shame.
Yeah, same.
So so I was like, if you're having fun with it, go for it. Yeah, that's what I told him. So,
The Mana Collection
now,
one, is that one online co-op or is it only couch co-op? Because you get to a certain point in
it's only couch.
Secret of Mana where that's co-op.
I think it's on the couch for the collection. So
I got you.
But yeah, I got it downloaded on my my PS5 right now because I was like, yeah, let me go through it too. I was like, fuck it. So.
Adventure of Mana, Final Fantasy Adventure.
There you go. All right, Brent, tell us about your woes of something.
Babyhood.
No woes. Aside from some Helldivers.
That's woes. That's constant woes.
Yeah, you're Keanu Reeves over here, man.
Whoa.
Your woe would not stop.
I did play some more Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Still good?
Yes. Last week I was talking about how I was 8 hours and just getting to the end of the second, or I had just started the third chapter. So now I'm like chapter 4, which has me in the Junon region, which was the second part of the demo, which I started playing and didn't really get that far in. I have learned, though, now that when you move from region to region, because it starts you in the grasslands and then you go to the Junon region, when you jump into a new region, you no longer have your chocobos. You have to go track down chocobos every time to get a mount to ride around. So I like exploring anyway, so the first thing I did was start looking around. And, found the chocobo farm, started doing the side quest, got the chocobo, and then just started riding around the whole area to unlock fast travel points on the map that make side quest easier and all that. So
it's usually my go-to when I play RPGs like that is always unlock the fast travel points.
Mm-hmm. And also that's a good way to level up and gain experience and SP and weapon proficiency. There's a whole bunch of crap to level up and get good at with this game. I'm just getting to the point now where I've done everything in Junon except for the main story. I started advancing the story and paused for a second because I talked about last week how all the characters have like little like an emote above them, like a little face above them, and it tracks their feelings about you, and you can form a stronger bond with your teammates.
I feel like 16-bit RPGs used to do that a lot. Like Camelot ones or Golden Sun always gave you those emote type things.
And so this plays into a factor later in the game where you can actually take one of those companions on a date. And so you have to get certain people, you have to get who you want to a certain affinity. And I found out that how you do that is there's certain side quests. There are times that you talk to the characters and you have to pick the right like dialogue choice. So in order to get the character I'm trying to get, I'm going on all these crazy side quests, and now that's paused my advance in the main story, and I've gotten to a point now where I just realized, and Cesar talked about it when he talked about his experience with Final Fantasy Rebirth, is there's a side quest that you have to do to advance your affinity with a certain character that involves the card game Queen's Blood that's in the game.
Queen's Blood.
I keep hearing about this.
I started it and I was like, oh dear God, because the guy, the quest is like the guy had a card stolen from him, and so he wants you to go after the person that stole the card.
Brand's like, please let this be Yu-Gi-Oh! Please.
And
Blue Eyes White Dragon card.
I did. I really did.
And then Brand sequentially puts 100 hours into the Yu-Gi-Oh! Base
Dark Magician.
Blue Eyes White Dragon, let's go!
But so the guy got a card stolen, and he wants you to go after this person that took it and beat him in a game of Queen's Blood. He's like, but I don't want to send anybody. I want to know that you've got some skills. So it just jumps you into a game with him. And I'm like, oh, great. I didn't even do the tutorial on this.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to figure it out as I go along.
Not bad.
I won. It's not too hard to kind of figure it out. And I did wind up winning like 16 to like 6 or whatever. Cause it's like you put these cards on a board and it's based on like they all have numerical values, and you're trying to like there's 3 different rows. It's really hard to explain.
Yeah, it sounds like Triple Triad
It's-
and those like from 8 and 9 that I never really grasped. Or Gwent. Russell loves Gwent from Witcher 3, and I never could wrap my head around it.
So
You get it though? It
now
clicks
I'm
for
like,
you?
it was. I mean, that first little part that I did, I was like, okay, that's all right. I haven't faced the actual person in the quest. Right before the podcast, that's what I was doing. I was
heard
on
Quest
there
64.
playing.
I was like, what 64?
Oh.
I was playing a little
Why,
bit
though?
of 7 there.
you don't follow that Twitter account called
Yes.
Quest 64 where they just talk about how great Quest
They
64
keep
is every
they
day?
keep comparing it to like how much better it is than Final Fantasy 7 and stuff.
Oh my gosh,
Brent, you haven't seen this?
no.
Cesar, you must have sent me something with it because I see it all the time. Quest 64, more polygons than Final Fantasy 7. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
Damn.
this game sucks.
Sorry, Brent. I didn't mean to take over. your thing.
Oh,
They're defending it all the
that-
time.
that was one really, really cool thing is there's
Quest 64? That's
no no one has
Said
ever
no
said
one
those
ever.
words.
Oh my god. When is that coming to
Um,
Nintendo's expansion online? We need to be clamoring for.
So the side game that was in the original Final Fantasy VII was what? Fort Condor,
Yeah.
right?
we got a little bit of it in that Yuffie DLC, right?
The tower defense,
So-
right?
The bastardized version.
Yeah. So they have Fort Condor in this, which it's tied to part of the region missions for Chadley.
Fucking hate
I
Chadley.
feel like I
Oh,
looking
he's got different missions for every region,
Fuck that
baby.
guy,
on the
man.
PS1, I think I save scummed that Fort Condor because I think there was some weird condition that you would bomb out if something didn't go your way, and I think I save scummed that because you had to get a materia at the end of it, right? The Condor
Yeah,
had
I
to
think
survive
so.
or something. Yeah, I mean, I played that 20 something years ago.
But there's a small little side story beat with Fort Condor in there, and it's pretty cool because like Cloud, Tifa, and Barrett go over and they find the little game board and they get sucked into it like Jumanji style. And
Does it play the
when
bongos?
and when they get sucked into
What year
it,
is it?
they're the old polygon versions of themselves.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So
What year is
it's
it?
actually pretty damn cool.
Still applies with what year?
It does. It's still
But yeah,
fixed.
I've done all the region investigation for Chadley. I've done all the
Fuck that guy. God, stop saying his name, man. Jesus.
I'm doing
Chadley as a
the
name just kinda sucks. Apologies to all the Chadleys listening to the show.
There's nobody
Trying-
ever named Chadley.
trying to
We
do
killed
all
him.
the side quests. I've got everybody up to like a decent happy face as far as their affinity for how they feel of being in the group right now.
So
So,
is it
Brand's out here powering the social aspects of this game.
yeah, you said it was Persona-esque. So is that in relation to Cloud or just like everybody's vibe in the party? Like it doesn't necessarily have to be with
it's
Yeah.
it's everybody's. When you do anything, it's your relationship with so and so has changed. So it's obviously Cloud is the party leader. He is the driving force in this. So anytime you do anything like that, it builds their relationship with
Right.
you. Because Cloud is the main person you're going to be playing.
as one does.
Unless you're Richard, he'll main Red 13.
Oh, I love Red 13. Give me a spin-off game with just Red
Red,
13.
hey, Red is pretty badass.
They made him even better in this game.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was already my favorite character.
Yeah, if you loved him in the original one, they gave him a good script that they even put more life into him. He even has more character. They did a really good job with him.
Yeah.
My final party was Cloud, Red 13, and Vincent on 7.
But yeah, soon I will be. I just saw Yuffie. You see her a little bit earlier in this game, I think.
It makes sense because you don't have to do the stupid random battle outside a certain area to counter.
Yeah, to go get her. I feel like you get her earlier.
So much of that game.
No, it was a Neblum, right? Neblum,
or at least see her. Yeah, I feel like you see her a lot earlier.
Because he had to do a certain thing because she would run away all the time.
She stole your materia in the PS1 game.
And then you had to like do a quiz and answer the questions right in order to get her to join your party. But yeah, in this game, she's you see her, she's in trouble, and you help her out, and then she's just there. And then she wants to meet you guys, and then she says, okay, I'm going to be over here. And so I guess I'm going to go run into her.
Probably fuck off. I'll be over here.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm about to go to the top port of Junon to the, I can't remember the name of the city. But I'll be impersonating a Shinra soldier, twirling a gun. Marching in a parade pretty soon. So and yeah, that's all I really all I played.
You're staying true to that where I'm a coward and waiting.
Grinding it out, baby.
I haven't even played the first one.
I sat there and just like, nope, you know what? I'm gonna play Yuden Chronicles.
Shoot, with the Steam sale, my son actually got Final Fantasy VII Remake, and he's playing it on the Steam Deck.
How does it play on Steam?
Runs well. It runs very well.
It actually
it like skitters in the very beginning video, but I never had issues after that.
Yeah,
so.
He was having a little bit of jitter, but I think it's smoothed out now. And I told him, I was like, you can probably play around with the settings and lock it down, and it'd probably be fine.
Do I get this version for potentially next couple weeks play?
Since you're out of town, and you still have to. Well, I mean,
it's the only $35 on sale right now. Yeah. So on Steam Intergrade version, it's the full Intergrade.
It's not bad.
So
it's not bad at all.
It's not bad at all.
I mean, I would. You get downtime. That's if you plan to have downtime.
I was also looking at Dragon Quest 11. That's like 23, I think, on Steam. But I've got that on Switch. A friend of the show, Michael, was like, either one is fine, honestly. I don't know. I probably don't have time.
They already have it on Switch. I would just play the Switch one.
Oh, on Dragon Quest?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because, I mean, the worst thing you want to do is spend money like, I might play this. And then you don't even play it. At least you're like, you know what, I already had it, so it ain't like I lost anything on it.
I don't think it's ever been less than $35 on Steam, though, going back to Final Fantasy Intergrade.
Yeah.
So, that is a good value. We shall see. Is that it for us?
That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week, maybe. Bye.
See you.
Adios.